was talking to an owner of a Chick-fil-A recently, and he was explaining to me that the young people nowadays, they don't really understand responsiveness to authority. They don't get it. And so he was just saying how valuable it is for him to have learned this idea, because he's teaching it to his own children so that when they get to be employees someday, they'll know how to respond. What we're talking about here is the ability for someone to respond to an authority in a way that demonstrates respect, demonstrates grace, just this responsive attitude. It's something we all need, and we're certainly going to use it in the workforce, but it's practiced right now in a home. When you call a child's name, the child needs to come right away. I would suggest you just call the child's name. You don't tell him, Billy, come. You just say Billy. And so when Billy hears his name, he comes. This is so great for kids with ADHD. Parents will often say, my child doesn't hear anything because he's so focused on what he's doing. And I say, that's correct until you practice this, because when you practice calling his name, then the radar that goes up is able to hear his name more clearly, and he's able to respond to it. It's just such a valuable quality to help children in a number of different areas of their lives. If you might imagine that some child might be working at Walmart, for example, and putting macaroni and cheese boxes on the shelf, and the boss comes to the end of the aisle and calls his name Billy. And what happens? Sometimes Billy might say, wait till I get to the next level. You can't do that like you do with me with the video game. You've got to stop what you're doing right away and go and turn toward the boss. And the boss is going to give you an instruction to do. That's responsiveness to authority. Children learn that at home. Now, when you do this, it does something very important. That is, you teach children to come when called. It does something very important for their hearts. It helps them release something emotionally. This is the first step toward good emotional management and practicing and doing training for good emotional management in a child. When you call a child's name and they have to come, inside of their heart, they have to leave something behind. They have to give up something. And if their desires are wrapped up in a video game or in a book they're reading or playing with toys or Legos or something, and you call their name, they have to let something go. Very important quality for emotional management. So we're going to teach children how to be stronger in their emotions. We're going to start by calling their name. So many good things happen because when you call a child's name, and as soon as you call it, they come to you and they say, what, mom, or what, dad, then you're building this pattern that they're developing of responsiveness to authority. It's going to help them in a number of different ways. It's building this internal sense of obligation. I need to come. And the I need to is going to overcome the I want to that's in their heart. I want to play with my video game. I want to play with my Legos. And when you call their name, then the radar comes up, oh, I need to come because my dad has called me. That I need to is what forms all kinds of responsibility. It's the obligation that we have. And when I need to overcomes I want to, then we have what we call responsibility. I need to get gas in my car. I need to mow the grass, but I don't want to. It's too hot outside, or I want to get to my destination. But when the I need to overcomes the I want to, then I'm being responsible. And there's this good feeling that comes from that. I'm doing the right thing. So much is built into this responsiveness to authority that we want to teach our children. And it starts at home when parents teach their children how to come when called. So if your child doesn't come when called, you're going to have to practice this quite a bit. You're going to have to have a meeting and sit down and say, hey, look, I want to teach you this because this is an adult skill and we practice it now. When I call your name, you need to come. You know, if the boss sends you an email, you quickly open that email because you want to see what the boss has to say. Or if the boss calls your name across the cafeteria, then you're listening and you say, okay, hey, did you want to talk to me? There's this responsiveness to authority that's strategic for anyone's life. It will help them to be better mates, better people on a team. They'll just do a lot better in life if they can learn this. So we practice it now by teaching children to come when called. And when they do, they learn this responsiveness to authority.